We kind of threw a good haymaker there in the first. I thought took some really good swings on him. And I thought our bats against them were really pretty good tonight. But, man, that guy just attacks the strike zone with 3 different pitches, tough arm slot. And we put some good swings on him, I thought, kind of the first 4 or 5 innings. But they made plays on defense. And we just put too many guys on for free tonight. I think that's the biggest story. For a dangerous lineup like that, too many times getting to an 0-2 count, and it ended up 3-2 and getting them back in the count with kind of uncompetitive pitches and then kind of getting behind and then making us pay for it, and that's what big boy baseball looks like, So I thought, I don't think that was anything other than the blip in the radar. We've done a pretty good job attacking the zone as a whole this year. I thought we just nibbled a little bit and gotten some bad counts, and good hitters made us pay for it. So that's the beauty of this thing, is in 24 hours we'll tee this thing back up and be ready to rock tomorrow night.
Yeah, Coach, Tennessee is one of the best teams in the SEC. How important is it for y'all to see what you need to work on so early on in conference play?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I've said this from the jump. The biggest thing I wanted to see is, can we pull ourselves up off the mat? And this group's been really confident in their work. They've been really confident going out there. Our 2 losses leading into tonight were tight games, and one being in extra innings and one kind of being a swing away from taking a lead. And this was the first night we really kind of got put on our backs a little bit and kind of got hammered there. And that's college baseball. I've been a part of a lot of lopsided games and on both sides of the baseball, and the best teams I've ever been a part of, they flush it. They look at, hey, what did we do well? What did we not do well? And take it for what it is and kind of just strip the game down. We talk a lot about that. Like, I think when you strip it down, you don't give the negative stuff power over you. You just understand, like, hey, this is where we weren't good enough tonight. And against the top 5 team in the country, when you put them in good counts and you don't put them away, that's kind of what happens. So I thought that was the story of the game, to be honest with you. So it'll be good test for us, see how we bounce back off the mat tomorrow and respond to a little adversity.
Coach, as you touched on, it was kind of a tale of 2 starts, with Causey really spinning one for Tennessee, and then Ben Hess not necessarily as sharpest. What do you think he's going to be able to do going into next week and beyond, based on the film tonight, to improve for the rest of the slate?
Yeah, I thought he actually did a pretty good job of getting ahead of guys. It seemed like we would get ahead, but we just couldn't quite put them away early, and you'd look up and it was 0-2, and then it turns into a 3-ball count. They spoil some stuff, and when you do that, it does a couple things. The hitter gets more comfortable the more pitches he sees, and 2, it just drives that pitch count up. And that's what you look at. I thought, even though we pumped Causey pretty good there in the first, it was efficient. He was attacking. He didn't kind of let that drive him off anything. He just kept executing pitches, and I just thought Heater wasn't able to finish. He had good stuff tonight. I mean, the fastball was good, the breaking balls were good, but once we got ahead, we just weren't able to put guys away quick enough, and I think that drove his pitch count up, which is why he's only able to go 3 2/3 for us, and with the way Causey throws a baseball, we needed to match that tonight. We just weren't able to, but I thought Heater had pretty good stuff. We just weren't able to kind of put guys away quick enough. And I think, like you said, that's kind of the difference if you put the 2 guys up next to each other. I thought Heater's stuff was great tonight.
Yeah, Coach, what do you say to the team, after the game, to kind of not let this loss get to them to move on in the series?
Yeah, I think a little bit of, what I've talked about in here. I think you just strip the game down a little bit. JJ will do that in the pregame meeting tomorrow. We'll do that with the hitters, because there was a lot of good tonight. I thought TJ McCants has kind of scuffled a little bit, I would say, for his standards, at least the last maybe 10 days, and thought he was on time tonight. I thought he took some really good swings tonight. Ian Petrutz took some really good swings tonight. Will Hamner didn't have anything to show for it, but took some really good swings tonight. And so I think that's what you look at. It's like, what did we do really well tonight? And I thought we did a really good job running tough at bats off in those middle innings against a really good arm. They didn't give us anything, and I think the difference in up and through about the 7th inning, I think we had put 8 on for free and they'd put 1, and on top of that, we just weren't able to get Causey out of the game, and that's a tribute to him. It's why he's one of the best arms in the SEC, and he's not going to run you a 99-mile-an-hour fastball up there, but it's an elite changeup. It's tons of strikes out of the fastball, a really good pace, and really efficient. And that's what you need. You need your Friday guy to kind of get deeper into the game, and he did a good job of that tonight. So I think the same stuff I've talked about in there is what I told him out here. We'll strip it down. We'll see what we did well, what we didn't do well. We'll make the adjustments, and that's my challenge. That's what I want to see from this group. Is you guys have heard me say that in here. How are we going to take a punch? And we took a pretty good haymaker tonight, and I expect this group. They're mature. They've been through this. A lot of these guys have been through this before, and it'll be about lining up tomorrow. And that's the beauty of baseball. It's 0-0, and we tow it back up, and still got a chance to win the series.
Coach, maybe a different kind of thing tomorrow with Drew Beam going up. And how do you think Greg Frome matches up with him, and what do you want to see your hitters do adjusting to the different style?
Yeah, no, and I think you're exactly right. Like, I don't even think I need Greg. I need Greg to be Greg, and I think that's what he's done today. He's been really good. Just he attacks with the heater. He's got 2 different breaking balls. I don't need him to be special, and that's what I talked to our hitters about at practice yesterday. I talked to our whole team about that a little bit yesterday. Is SEC play begins. It's this huge thing. Everybody's talking about all this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's still baseball. If we throw a lot of strikes, we make routine plays, and we execute offensively, you give yourself a chance to win against anybody. And, Drew Beam, the guy can really pitch. He's done it for a couple of years. He's really good. I just need Greg to go out and be Greg. If Greg's Greg, he gives us a shot. And I think that's the beauty of it, is because you were able to get Buchanan to get through a few innings there, and Pierce George, I thought, did some really nice things tonight. Being able to do that means you kind of got some horses ready to go tomorrow. You got him, you got T-Fay ready to go, you got AD ready to go, you got some weapons that you can send tomorrow. So I just need Greg to go out and be Greg, and I need our hitters to go out and just run good at bats off as consistently as we can. And I thought we did that early. I thought about when they started lengthening it out. I thought the 6th, 7th, 8th, we maybe gave a few at bats away that is a little uncharacteristic that we've got to be a little bit more mature about. Because who knows, in college baseball it's crazy. You tack on 3 or 4 there in the 6th, and all of a sudden it's an 11-6 game, and then Hodo hits a pump, it's 11-7, and you're kind of back in a decent spot right there. So just the consistency of the 27 outs offensively. Like I said, I thought there were some good things we did, just maybe not as consistent there as I wanted to be.
Anything else? You're going to see a lot of guys in conference play that are going to make your batters see them 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. And when they have the opportunity to do that tonight, how do you think that helps them when it comes to adjusting their approaches if need be in the future games?
Yeah, I think that's big. Just because you're in that situation, right? Like you the more pitches you see, the more comfortable those guys are, especially with a guy like Causey tonight. It's a different slot. It's a really good changeup. You're throwing the changeup to both sides. The arm speed on that changeup's really good. We knew, and good arms will do this to you. We knew from left-handed hitters, it's mainly arm side stuff, not a lot to his glove side. He was able to execute a few glove side pitches today. And threw a couple sliders, threw a couple fastballs, and some stuff he hasn't done a ton. But to me, the more you see him, the more comfortable that at bat. At least you know what the stuff looks like. It doesn't mean the stuff gets worse, but at least you've got a feel for the slide. You got a feel for the way the stuff's moving. And again, like I thought what Causey did such a good job of tonight. It was 3 pitches, it was all strikes, and it felt like we stepped in an 0-2 count a lot of times. And that's what really good guys do when they attack like that. He kept attacking, kept kind of sending his stuff. TJ pumped that ball in the first. Ian has a great at bat, runs a 2-strike homer out of there. It would have been easy for him to kind of get back on his heels, and he didn't. He just kept sending his stuff. And that's what we have to do there. It's like, we get punched a little bit. That's fine. Just keep sending our stuff, and I just thought they did a more consistent job at the plate, did a more consistent job on the mound and doing some of that than we did tonight.